James, 1-0 defeat against Portsmouth. We knew we had to be alert today against a team that scores for fun. And despite losing, were you happy with what you saw today?
The team spirit flowed through the whole game, which was really important. We wanted to be good at the beginning, the middle, and the end of both halves, and to deal with those in separate sections mentally to get a focus that we could carry through the whole game. You try and focus for an hour and a half, it's hard, but if you compartmentalise, you've got a chance. And we were generally happy with our focus levels, our connections, chemistry, team spirit, and look, I think if that's normal, then we'll be okay. But we have to have that every single week without exception, and it really gives us then something to build on. Because yes, but Portsmouth are the highest scoring team in the league. But when you look at the goals that we score enough to win a league at the moment. And you know we score fabulous goals. Half of them come from our goalkeeper. So if we defend with a real team spirit and a mental and physical robustness, with good communication like we had today, then we will go and win games of football.
Yeah, the last game against them ended 7-0, and this time it took them 78 minutes to score the only goal of the game. What did we learn from that previous match that we took into this one?
The goal they scored today was the goal they scored actually 6 of the 7 times down at their place earlier in the season. So actually the goal we conceded was the goal that we tried very hard to prevent all game, and we did. You know, so you were in the team meeting yourself, so you will know. We had to be much more switched on the counter attack. Because we like high possession, and if you enjoy high possession, you are vulnerable to the counter attack. A lot of the best teams have that problem, and we had that problem down at their place. They didn't have many clear goal scoring opportunities, but they scored the ones they had, and they kept scoring on the counter attack. Scored on the counter attack today. So and we knew it would go wide, and we knew it would get fizzed across, and we knew their midfield would run, and Ali Hall's probably the best in the league at that run. So that's what we tried really hard to prevent. And look, the fact it was 1-0, that shows really how good our focus was, because it was one lapse in focus. We just ball watched and not stop the counter attack early, and then good teams do what they do. I think we can look at the positive of that as well, to say that was the only time they did that all game. You know, it went in the back of our net.
Today's game was dedicated to the club legend Ron Symes, who sadly passed away on New Year's Day. He and his wife Joyce did so much for the club over many, many years. How important was it today to put on a performance that they both would have been proud of?
It's a sad day for the football club. Ron and Joyce Symes have supported this football club in the true sense of the word for 60 years. They were grafters, they were optimists, they were team players, they were everything that you want on a football pitch. That's what they gave off the pitch. Really sad day for us. Ron passed away, I believe, on New Year's Day, and Joyce was with us until only a few years ago. Look, they'll always be remembered here. The performance came not just for them, but the performance came from them. The players were inspired by what both Ron and Joyce have given to the club, and I think you get more from a football club when you give more, and those were people who gave everything. So hopefully today the players gave everything they had on the pitch. I believe they did, and it's important, because a football club is the people at the football club, and is the supporters of the football club. And they will be Ricky Town. They'll always be in the fabric of the club, and we need to make sure as a team that our performances reflect the spirit of the people who've upheld this fantastic football club for so long. So the performance was for Ron and Joyce Symes, and was inspired by them as well.
We also had some first team debuts today. Bridget Allen and Maya Lane came on. They've been in and around the first team squad in the last couple of games. How good is it to have quality young players coming through and be able to reward them with an opportunity?
I think, particularly in women's football, it's very important. The sports science and the neuroscience would say that female athletes tend to mature before male athletes. So actually, if players are earning it and they're ready, they'll play. And we don't mind how old anybody is, all right, at this football club. One of our targets was to have a fantastic youth pathway. We've now got a really good reserve team that is focused on developmental football for the individual, and yet they're actually doing very, very well from a performance aspect as well. Yes, Maya and Bridget. Look, they've over the Christmas period, I think that they both showed quality, both played in a recent friendly, but we've been working with Maya and Bridget for the last 6 months. They were in with us pre-season training in June, in with the first team. Jamie Westerberg's been leading a really aspirational group of young players, and I think if you're a young player from Essex or if you're a young player from London, well, where else would you want to play football than Billericay Town? If you want a pathway to senior football and to really stretch yourself and get the support you need, I think this club now is in really good shape, and we know we've got even younger ones coming through, which we're excited about as well. So Bridget and Maya, great to have them in the squad. We expect them to keep earning that and to play themselves into many more squads over the course of the season to help this football club win matches. And we've got Lily Wolstenholme, we've got Megan Riley, we've got lots of fantastic players to join under 18s who are already playing for the first team most weeks. Elise Jennings, Soraya Walsh. We had Lois Hall play against Ebbsfleet United for us last week. Tilly Philpott as well has been in the matchday squad. Millie Dayath on the bench. So yeah, and a lot of good young players around them as well, who will come through. So we're not in a rush, but we do expect in the second half of the season some of those players to be challenging for first team places and win this football club games. And for some it might take a bit longer. It might take 18 months, which is fine. Which is why we'll have that loyalty in our youth pathway. So if they didn't make us better, they wouldn't be in the squad. And as long as they keep pushing, they'll be absolutely fine.